Hey there, what's going on guys? Today let's check out 20 village seeds for Minecraft 1.16 versions on Minecraft Java Edition. I recorded this video in Minecraft 1.16.2. These seeds do not work for Minecraft Bedrock Edition and are only for Minecraft Java Edition. All of the coordinates for locations shown in this video will be in a link in my description in one easy place on a blog post for you. Alright, let's get started. Let's go ahead and start off with this Island Village seed. I've actually featured an Island Village in a video on my channel before, and it's just as exciting to find one again. Just because it's isolated in the ocean doesn't mean this village doesn't have other things nearby. There is a shipwreck not too far off the coast of the island. It's a spruce and village shipwreck. There's also a ruined portal in the ocean. It's always cool seeing a ruined portal underwater, almost as cool as seeing an island village. Now let's check out this seed that generates a spruce village on the edge of an ocean. This little piece of land that generates as a result of the village being near the ocean looks pretty interesting. It's very rectangular. There's also a ruined portal nearby too. This one generates right on the top of the ocean water. Let's go ahead and see this seed that generates a village next to and in a mountain biome. You can see the nice big mountains nearby the village along with the flowing water and flowing lava. In the village there is a blacksmith and a barn. In this seed, we have a taiga spruce village, but this isn't a typical taiga village as it generates mostly inside of a swamp biome with it being right next to the taiga. This village has a blacksmith building within it, so be sure to grab the blacksmith loot. In the next seed, we have a fairly standard plains village. It generates right near an ocean and there's a savanna biome nearby too. On the western side of the village, there is a ravine. This building generates right on the edge of the ravine. Here we have this seed with a pretty big village at spawn. The village generates in multiple biomes, including the plains, desert, birch forest, and swamp. There are also two ravines within the village. The first one is towards the east and has a few buildings generating on the edge of it, with this one just floating on top of it. Check out this tree that generates inside of the ravine. The other ravine is towards the middle of the village if you're moving northwest. It is partly covered by land like grass and sand. Finally, there is a ruined portal right nearby the village too. It generates inside of the swamp biome. Now we have a seed with a pretty standard plains village. However, this village actually generates with 3 churches. You can see all 3 churches when I fly up in the sky a bit. Here we have a seed that has a taiga village that generates right near an ocean. Some of the village generates going into the ocean. This taiga is actually a giant tree taiga and giant tree taiga hills biome. If you look at the map, it's actually an island, so it's definitely a pretty unique place to spawn. Now let's check out this seed that has a spawned plains village. Within this village, you can find these 2 churches that generate on each side of this floating building. On the eastern edge of the village, you will find a desert temple. This desert temple gives you the perfect opportunity to get some early game loot. Next up, we have a spruce village that stretches into the plains biome that you spawn into. Along with the taiga and plains biomes, there is also a roofed forest nearby. This is actually a taiga blacksmith village. For those that don't know, the buildings with these grindstones are blacksmiths or weaponsmiths. Make sure to grab the loot inside. Getting into the final 10 seeds, we have this seed that generates a village on the edge of a mesa biome. There is actually a ravine that pretty much separates the plains and mesa biomes. This building is floating over the ravine. This farm here also generates partly floating on the edge of the mesa too. A pretty amazing place to spawn. In this next seed, we have a village that generates in a really small plains biome. The plains is surrounded by a roofed forest biome. Due to that, the village stretches into the roofed forest. This is one of the types of villages that I always like to see. The buildings surrounded by the trees like that are always a unique look. Next up, let's take a look at this seed with a village that generates on the edge of an ocean and next to a flower forest biome. The flower forest stretches up to mountain-like terrain, which the village generates into. This causes the buildings in the village to be at all different levels in the terrain to cause a unique look. Take a look at this little bit of terrain floating here with some flowers generating on a path. Now we have the first and only savanna village that we'll be seeing in this video today. This savanna generates near a roofed forest and a swamp biome. Some of the village stretches into those biomes. One of the buildings is a blacksmith or weaponsmith building that generates right next to a ravine, or even possibly on top of the ravine. These savanna blacksmith buildings are some of my least favorite village buildings. I mean, I'm just not a fan of how it looks. Here is a seed that has a plains village with 2 different blacksmith buildings inside of it. That gives you 2 places with a great opportunity for great loot right at your spawn location. There are also a bunch of farms here for some easy access to food. Along with the double blacksmith village, there is another village very close by. This village gives you another place to loot, and it looks pretty cool too. It generates mostly in the ocean with paths and buildings generating inside of the ocean. Getting into the final 5 seeds here, we have the first of 2 desert villages we will be seeing. The spawn of this seed is just outside of the desert in a forest, but you'll see the village right ahead of you towards the southwest. From above the village, you can see that there is a desert temple almost directly in the middle of the village. It's almost like the center point and focus of the village with all of the buildings built around it. I think that's pretty awesome. Be sure to grab all of the loot around this area to start your world. Next, we have the first and only snow village that we will be seeing in today's video. To be specific, this village generates inside of a snowy tundra biome. As I've mentioned in previous videos, these villages have snow buildings, ice buildings, wood buildings, and snow ice buildings. Entering the final 3 seeds, we have something a bit familiar to this video, as we have already seen an island village earlier. However, this island village definitely has a bit more to offer, especially in terms of loot and things to explore. As you can see, there are a ton of buildings here, and the village is pretty big. Included within the buildings is a blacksmith, of course with some loot, a tannery with some loot, and another blacksmith with some loot. So this isn't just an island village seed, it's also a double blacksmith village seed. In this seed here, you spawn inside of a plains biome and on the edge of a small forest. Just ahead of you, you will be able to see a desert village and a desert temple. The desert temple looks like it fits right in with the village. Be sure to collect all of the loot in the village and the temple. Be careful walking around the village though, because it sits right on top of a ravine. The sand and buildings are just floating right on top of it. Finally, to finish off this video, we have a seed with a spawn plains village. Inside of the village, you can find 2 tannery buildings, which is a great opportunity if you're looking for early game food or loot. There is also this neat looking cave entrance here. You'll quickly notice that nearby the village is a mansion. For size perspective, the mansion has 7 rooms on the top floor for you to explore. That includes 2 cat rooms on that floor alone. If you were to continue southwest from the mansion, you can find another village. This village has a blacksmith which sits right on top of a cave entrance. Check out the chest inside for some loot. So this seed has 2 villages with a mansion right in between them. Well, there you have 20 village seeds that are working for Minecraft 1.16 Java versions of Minecraft. Again, I recorded this video and tested all of the seeds in Minecraft 1.16.2. Let me know which one of the seeds in this video is your favorite. Also in the comments, share any seeds that you think people may want to check out. For more Minecraft videos, be sure to subscribe and to turn on notifications for all of my future videos. Alright guys, that is going to do it for me. Thank you so much for watching. I'm out of here. See ya.